This is the Microsoft Surface Duo, which I've had now for a week. To say the Duo is undercooked is a disservice to Microsoft and the Duo. That said, there's room for improvement. The Surface Duo released to general public September 10th, 2020. I've had this one now for a week. The Duo features two 5.6-inch AMOLED screens mounted to a 360-degree hinge. When closed, it looks like a glass Moleskine notebook, and it's about that size. Glass covers the main surfaces, with only the sides being plastic and the hinge being metal. Along the side, you can find the volume rocker, power button, fingerprint reader, and SIM tray. Along the bottom is the sole USB-C port. You'll notice there's no headphone jack, which, given how thin the device is no surprise. Unfortunately, there's also no expandable storage option. Speaking of things the Duo lacks, you'll find NFC, wireless charging, stereo speakers, and an external camera missing. Also, unlike other foldable devices, it lacks any sort of external screen or notification window. It does have a peek mode, but currently it only shows you the current time and date. If you want to pick up this device, a smartwatch is going to end up being a must. Once we open the Duo, we're greeted to lovely looking dual displays. These are both 3:4 aspect ratio. On the top of the screen, you'll notice the Duo's sole camera, an 11 megapixel shooter, which we'll circle back on in a bit. Next to it, you have the flash, which, watch out if you get one of these, because you are liable to blind yourself when you turn it on if you're not fully thinking it through. Next to all that is the headphone speaker. In phone or single screen posture, it's manageable for a phone call, even if it's not the most comfortable. For long conversations, you are definitely going to want a pair of earbuds, and that can be a wonderful addition. I personally use my Samsung Buds Plus when I'm at home, and my Surface Buds at work. Full review on those in the next few weeks. Along the left screen, if I can get this to move back over, there we go. On the left-hand screen, we have the device's only speaker. The headset speaker is not amplified, which is a bit of a bummer. When using the device in book mode, it's very obvious the sound is only coming out of the left side of the screen. The speaker is loud and clear, but it lacks depth. No pun intended. The Duo is powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855, which is a 1.5 years old processor design at the time of recording. It's paired with 6 GB of RAM and your choice of 128 or 256 gigs of storage. This model here is the 256 gig model, priced at nearly $1,500. The 128 gig model will set you back nearly $1,400. This don't call it a phone device is great feeling in the hand. If you've watched my unboxing video, you can see my pure joy at the first touch of it. The weight and materials make the Duo feel truly premium. And the hinge is amazing. With just enough resistance to keep the phone in any position, but not so much resistance as to feel like you're forcing the device. Although it's definitely not a one-hand open situation. The included bumpers work well enough, but unfortunately made the Duo hard to pull out of my pocket. I ended up removing mine after a day. I will be interested to see what third-party options there are as the ecosystem develops. Moving on to actually using the Duo, there has yet to be a time where I wish the processor was faster. I've done gaming with videos on the other screen, 2 games at once, and many different combinations, and the Duo's always powered through without an issue. There have been times I've wished for more RAM though. This thing is a multitasker's dream until you get the RAM full, and then things do tend to grind to a halt. As far as general software experience goes, I have to admit, I've had more than a few problems. Applications act weirdly when forced to span the displays, or when forced to rotate. Gestures are hit or miss, and the more I've used it, the more I've seen gestures miss. You can set up to use default navigation where the home, back, and multitask buttons stay open on the bottom of the window, or on the bottom of the screen. The multi-screen gestures are still there though, and they're the ones that fail the most often. The software and out-of-box experience is easily 90% complete. It's just the last 10% that really needs smoothed out. Unfortunately, when you throw third-party apps into the mix, it's more of a mixed bag, because the Duo is essentially a tablet in span mode when you have it fully open. And unfortunately, that also puts it in the tablet ecosystem, which isn't very good. Android's always had a problem with their tablet ecosystem. There just really aren't good sized apps that take advantage of the tablet screen. In single screen posture, most apps work fine. Some apps like HBO Max, though, don't like the 3:4 aspect ratio and can leave graphical artifacts when the menu items move in and out of the screen. There are plenty of apps that work great, though. All of the Microsoft applications have been coded to take advantage of the Duo and its dual screen capability. Outlook and OneDrive are fantastic and excel at a spanned experience. Speaking of OneDrive, the inking experience, even with a third-party stylus, is fantastic. I imagine with a licensed Surface Pen, it's even that much better. My only complaint coming from a Note 10 Plus is the pen isn't as integrated into the DNA of the Duo. There's no gesture support, shutter control, and worst of all, there's no off-screen note system, so you can't just flip the device open, bring the pen to it, and start writing. You do have to fully unlock the device and then launch OneNote. That can all come in future updates, though, but it's still somewhat of a letdown. Speaking of letdowns, I guess it's time to address the elephant in the room: the camera. It's a serviceable experience for general productivity tasks, like scanning documents, documenting locations and events, and it's a heck of a lot better for Zoom or Teams meetings than your laptop webcam. Selfies are good, but they lack color depth and detail. Night shots are a straight no-go. There's no night shot mode. And general scenery pictures are flat and uninspired. Some of the failings can be corrected by software, or editing photos after the fact. But what makes things worse for the Duo is since it only has the one camera, by the time you flip it out, unlock it, start the camera app, and hope that it gets what you're trying to do, your subject may have already moved on. It's disappointing, especially considering Microsoft's past camera technology and experience. My venerable Lumia 640 XL took some of the best shots I've ever been able to take with a phone camera, even when compared to my Note 10 Plus. I've since moved on to a DSLR that I carry with me almost everywhere, and it's actually the camera I'm using to record this review. So the camera quality, while disappointing, isn't a built-in deal breaker for me. The battery included in the Duo, well, the two batteries that are located one in each side that are tied together, are an uninspiring 3,577 milliamp hours. Given the amount of screen the device is expected to drive, that's a pretty small amount. It's all to get the Duo as thin as possible, which it is amazingly thin. In my use case, I typically return home with about 10% battery on a normal day. For reference, my normal day starts at 6 a.m. and I get home at 6 p.m. I use Bluetooth heavily, maintaining a constant connection to my smartwatch and a headset or car radio the entire day. Typically, I also view 1 to 2 hours of video playback, 2 hours of GPS usage, and most of the day spent listening to music, podcasts, audiobooks, or attending Teams meetings. I could carry a battery pack or plug it in at my desk, but it's nice not to need to. Again, it does make it through my day, just not much past that. Microsoft, if you're watching this, just add wireless charging to the next version, and this is no longer a problem. I'm happy to drop my phone on a pad. It's just as quick to grab from there as it is from its tinted position, normally where I have it on my desk. My earbud case pretty much already lives on a charging pad, so I'm used to just grabbing it and going. This is where I have to be honest with all of you. I am in love with the idea of this device. The Duo ignites a passion for portable technology that has been missing for a few years. But this is going back to AT&T. Despite what Microsoft has said about this not being a first revision device, This is a first revision consumer device. You can tell they spent a lot of time on the look and feel of the Duo. It feels amazing. It looks amazing. But this is very much an early adopter device. With the software bugs, missing features, and lackluster specs, it's just not the device that's going to win me away from my Note 10 Plus, especially not at $1,500. There was a time in my life about 5 years ago where I was the consummate early adopter, happy to fill out bug reports, feature requests, design custom code to fix or at least MacGyver problems, or try out multiple applications or methods of using the device. I'm just not there anymore. I can't wait for the next revision of this device. If they can clean up the software, if more third-party developers add features that take advantage of these changing form factors, not just from Microsoft, if the specs are an upgrade from my Note 10 Plus, and they either add a better camera, bigger battery, wireless charging, or drop the price, I will be getting one of these next year. Just the version 2. Cheers, and thanks for watching.